Speaking of excitement, huge recruiting news for Miami, the Boozer twins. Everyone's excited about them, local prospects. They've been good for a long time. I know you want to touch on that with Cameron Boozer and Cayden Boozer. Both are very good players at their respective positions. They're a lot of fun to watch. They were on campus on Thursday, so that's good. And one of the things I found out about them, in terms of, I know everybody wants to know, oh, does Miami really have a shot in relation to the other top schools, or in particular with Duke? And what I was told is just that they really do love Coach Larrañaga. They like the environment there. They like, they just really like Coach L. That's a huge part in their decision whether or not they want to stay. And certainly that's the one thing that kind of feels like they did get DeJuan Hernandez, but over this time. But in terms of like local prospects, really big time guys in the South Florida area, Miami's not been able to, and it's very difficult, going back to Brandon Knight. And then also, Vernon Carey was a huge deal. There's been other guys since, but I think if they were able to get these guys, it would certainly be a big lift. So that's great. They're on campus. That's certainly a good point for Miami, from a Miami standpoint. But Justin, your thoughts on this and the Boozer twins?
Yeah, I actually think Miami has a great shot at it, if not the best shot. And a few reasons for that. Number one, very different than Brandon Knight was before Coach Larrañaga, and then Vernon Carey. Just different because these guys, these Boozer twins, they grew up right here in the Gables, coming to University of Miami camp since the time they were probably 8, 9 years old. I actually, when I was on the team about 10 years ago, they were at the camp, little kids, their mom was there picking them up every day. So they've grown up around the U. Great kids, great family. I've heard that, probably family might want them to stay home because who wouldn't want their kids to stay in the area? So I think Miami has a great shot. We just got our, I believe, best recruiting class in history. So why not play off of that and get these two twins in there in a couple of years?
And I think that's a big factor in terms of with Brandon. Yeah, going back to Frank Haith when Brandon was coming up, remember all of that going on, and essentially put the Miami program just wasn't at that level. It was going to have to take someone like Brandon to just say, well, I want to come here and make a difference. Whereas, right now, coming off Miami's been winning. It was a Final Four season, the Elite Eight before that. They've had great teams. You touched on the great recruiting class, so they're going to be able to play with some good young players as well. A lot of things are falling into place with Miami there, and certainly the fan excitement is there right now. So it's starting to, maybe to your point of why you think they've got a great shot, is these other things are like falling in line exactly the way you would want it if you're a Miami program. And again, they're local guys. They've been down here. Everyone knows they're a big deal. They've certainly been a huge priority for UM, and they've been on campus. This isn't one of these things, as you mentioned, when they were younger, but even now it's not like it's been such a struggle to get them on campus, or they're really looking elsewhere. Not that they're not. They are going to visit other schools and consider other schools, but I think just a lot of factors are playing well for Miami, and it's exactly with where you want to be with the program. Again, you don't have to sell them on them changing everything around here. It's just a lot of things are in place, and the guys that have had success, they've had a lot of success with their guys, and now they're going to the NBA. So certainly those guys are going to have that as a goal. Miami can deliver in that sense too, because they have sent guys to the NBA recently.
Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, you never know. I know that some of the best programs in the country are in the mix, of course, but like you said, things are lining up. It's not the it's not the program that it was 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, lots of success, lots of NBA talent, kids in your backyard. I know that Coach L and the staff are getting aggressive earlier than they normally would, with these kids being a class younger. But I mean, they're clearly bought in to these twins, and I hope they close the deal.
Yeah, and I think also it's interesting too, and on the AAU circuit, playing with the Knight Riders, that essentially playing with a lot of other guys from South Florida. So that tie, and they have offered other guys. Alex Lloyd's a guy that they've offered, so maybe other guys can come as well and kind of create, continue that with their success that they've had. They've played with these guys for so long, and just kind of continue that South Florida connection at UM. I think it'd be great. It'd be huge for Miami. I felt like this for a long time, that there is fan excitement, but also people like having these stars to root for it and cheer for. And I think it would be a huge gift for Miami, not just their talent, because I love both of them for what they are and what they can be, but also just the excitement of essentially they have a brand. They're already big names. They've been big names, not just here in South Florida, but just around the country. They're two of the best at their positions. They're just a lot of fun. And watch the highlight film, watch them yourself. I mean, both these guys can play, and there's the potential that maybe they're going to reclassify too. So that's just something to watch for too. But certainly it's great seeing Miami in the mix for big time players. And yeah, they've got a great haul coming in, signing day, early signing period in November. So that it should be great. And again, Miami's just continuing to build with what they've already been able to do on the court, building on their success on the recruiting front as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Hopefully they can keep it going. I mean, this would be great. And then talk about propelling even into a new level. I mean, it would be huge. So see what happens, but it's definitely not one of these like a Brandon Knight. Oh, I'm just going to put Miami in the mix, but they don't really have a shot. I think this is a real shot here.